Okay, so I'm starting to open up a little bit more about Duchenne muscular dystrophy because I don't think a lot of people understand how this disease works. So I just did a video that kind of explains how you get Duchenne and a little bit about the dystrophin protein. We have proteins throughout our body. Dystrophin is the one that helps repair your muscles, and it was damaged. This is what Duchenne muscular dystrophy is all about. And so that 79 exons long becomes a full, you have an amino acid that turns into a full protein that can go then into your muscles to repair them. And that is what, when you do a strenuous workout, the next day your muscles are sore, is because that dystrophin is going into those muscles to repair and stitch them. So for our sons, like I said in my last video, go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But basically, at 30, I think it's exon 32, they have that nonsense stop codon. So it just says, oops, stop, you're done, you're a full protein. And it's actually not, and it just goes back into the body. And those CK levels get elevated because of that. And then instead of it going to become a full protein at that exon 79 and then going into the muscle to repair it. So what happens for our boys is it goes back into the bloodstream and it does not become a full protein, and their muscles just slowly progress into fatty tissue. So basically that means over time, like at around 8 years old, Mason lost his ability to walk. And then same thing for Blake at about 8. He also lost his ability to walk, and that was really challenging. There was also some silver linings, like they would fall quite frequently. There was a point where my husband actually had to go down to the school because they were trying to accuse me of harming my children because my son had fallen down and he fractured his ankle, like a hairline fracture. It wasn't even a huge thing. I mean, obviously still awful, but it happened once, and then like a couple months later, the other foot had the same thing. And they were starting to accuse me of like beating my children. And I'm like, we literally have IEPs. I'm not sure why you guys don't understand. Like, you have notes from my doctors that they have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. They're subject to falls. Their bones are not as dense as other people's are. So why are we having this conversation? Like, I was just so mad. My husband just had to go down there and be like, look, you guys, like, back off. Like, she is working her ass off trying to take care of these kids that have this horrible disorder that we did not realize we were ever going to receive. So we didn't have any tools or resources or things to pull from yet. We are thrown into this world. And I'm not saying that, if we had more support and stuff, it'd been easier. It's still hard. But it's when you're thrown into something like this and you don't know, I don't have any relatives I can say, hey, how do you do this? Like, I have a couple that have had different things happen, but not in a way that's like, oh, well, it runs in the family, so you know exactly what to do. Like, it didn't. We're de novo. This is new. So anyway, we dealt with that. But today, like, it's kind of one of those things where you slowly progress. And I lost what I was saying, but when they lost their ability to walk, the silver lining was they weren't going to fall anymore and get hurt and have that potential anymore. So that was the silver lining, that it's not necessarily, it's devastating to have your 8-year-old no longer walk for the rest of their entire life, but also keeping them safe from potential falls because their arm strength is not there to be able to catch a fall. Like, Mason fell once and had a big, huge goose egg on his head because he tripped over a hose and he couldn't catch himself to not bonk his head. So it's just stuff like that happened pretty frequently, to the point where, it was scary. So it was the silver lining that they weren't able to walk, but it's also very devastating too. Sneaks up on you. But so today we were going to a dentist appointment, and my son's, I couldn't remember who was sitting where, and I'm in the very back. I'm standing outside in the back of the Suburban trying to figure out which side I'm putting which wheelchair on. And I'm like, Mason, raise your hand. And he says, I can't. That's new. So that's what Duchenne is like. They'll lose an ability to do something, and then it kind of plateaus for a while, and then they lose more abilities to do something, and then it plateaus for a while. And now we're at that place where they're losing their ability to use their arms. So Say a little prayer for our little family if you could. Love you guys. Bye.